Chair recognizes the gentleman from Laurel for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, in January, I've had the privilege of serving as co-chair on the Administrative Regulation Review Subcommittee. For a lot of the new members, I'll give a brief explanation of what this subcommittee does. So throughout the year, we meet once a month and we review regulations. I know it sounds like a lot of fun, and it is. But we review all regulations, emergency regulations, and we make a determination on whether or not the regulation is in accordance with 13A and our intent as a legislative body, right? So we review several bills, and it's not a partisan committee. We look at things strictly by if it's following the law. It doesn't matter what our personal thoughts are, it's just is it following the law that we set here today in this body. So over the past year, we probably reviewed over 500 regulations, and of the 500, we found 6 to be deficient. I'm going to explain those now. So the first one deals with employer-employee relationships. It controls and restricts who works as an independent contractor in Kentucky. So basically, no one could be considered an independent contractor. The reg ignored multiple long-standing tests to determine whether a worker qualified as an independent contractor. That's the first one. We had a Board of Pharmacy regulation dealing with board-authorized protocols. So typically, a pharmacy deals with acute conditions. There were 17 different itemized conditions that they could treat for. The regulation did away with this and was more generalized, and it gave them too much free rein. And as a person who is in that field, even I had to agree this was too much. The last one dealt with Medicaid expansion. And these regs took funds that were saved as a result of what we did in 2020. It was a PBM bill that we had at the time. It led to recurring savings of $38 million a year. Essentially, the cabinet was appropriating funds. Now, I'm all for helping people. I'm in a heavily Medicaid region, and I said publicly that I am for helping these people, and I want to look over it over the interim. I believe there's also some other legislation that has been filed. But the other issue was with an E-reg that was filed that was based on a press release from September. The E-reg was filed in December, but it's a press release from the governor's office, not an emergency. But that is the bill. I'm sure I'll have questions. Be happy to answer them.